Hello friends, welcome back to Jolly Days, and here is a surprise video. Very surprising because this is also my first voiceover video. Pardon me if I'm sounding too awkward, I still have a lot to get used to. You can tell that I bought something using Amazon Prime. It is such an amazing service. I only bought this yesterday and it arrived this morning. Thumbs up to the logistic team and the delivery man. So anyway, I bought this dual tip watercolor brush marker set from Ohuhu. This is definitely not a sponsored or paid advertised video, so every opinions are genuine. I like to do this to reduce the space while I throw out the trash later. But one fun fact, I like to pop bubble wraps every time I receive packages. They are so satisfying. I've always wanted to get a set of watercolor brush markers to practice watercolor painting for my bullet journal. I know most artists use Tombow, which of course I have some as well, and I love their products too. But to be honest, their price point is slightly on the higher side, so I don't have much choices to use. Then I saw that Ohuhu offered a range of colors at a really cheap price, and reviews are great, so I'm totally sold. This is the 100 colors marker set, which I believe you can easily find it on Amazon. Thank goodness my local Amazon has this product available, so I don't have to wait for a long time to ship it to me from overseas. And I'm very surprised that the packaging is quite compact for 100 pieces of markers. And so are you ready? And ta-da! Oops. Oh, ta-da! Now I know why it can be stored so compact. The colors are looking cute at a quick glance. That is really a lot of colors, a lot of stationeries. So anyway, they included a printed color swatches to tell you what you can expect. And they have also included 2 pieces of empty swatch guide. They are printed on watercolor papers that you can fill it up to see the true colors, which is nice. Oh, I was still thinking what was this pack. Apparently it's the nibs replacements, which I think is very thoughtful of them to include this because sometimes I don't know if you guys face the same problem, but if you use the brush pens very often, the nibs can become softer and it will make the brush strokes thicker and then it gets not comfortable to use. Yeah, so I thought this is nice. I wonder if I can use it for my other brush pens. Anyway, so here's the overall package of the set. I'll flip open and have a more detailed look of each compartment. Some covers are not opaque, so I could see the nibs from outside, and I wonder what's the reason. Anyway, I'll be doing the testing on the spare pages of my previous bullet journal, which is the place where I'll mostly be using these brush pens at. I'm trying some of the lighter colors first, and I think the colors are nice. Another factor is that I don't want to come across the neon type colors, like they should just stay as a highlighter. Do you guys feel me? Okay, I'm gonna try some darker colors to see if it will bleed through. Oh, the color is really nice. So one thing is that the consistency of the brush tips. I feel that I'm using the equal strength for both colors, but if you can see, the green tips is slightly softer, thus the thicker in the strokes. And you see the blue one, it is thinner and I prefer the harder tips because it's actually much easier to control. I'm trying out the black one now since it is the darkest color and going through a few layers. And it's not bleeding through at all. Can't see the shadow, which is great. Maybe partly because I'm using a 160 GSM paper notebook. Unfortunately, there are still some neon colors in the set, so I'm gonna try and see if I can convert them and make them useful. So judging from their covers, I picked these three to experiment. I've never touched watercolor type markers before, so if I've done any steps wrongly, please let me know. So this is the actual color of the orange brush. It's actually quite neon off the camera, and I'm using the Tombow blending brush to push out the colors on the paper, but it doesn't seem to be doing anything. The blending pen has already dabbed with water, so I will just take the color directly from the marker. I think this method doesn't really work too much for me. The next method is to dab the marker directly into the water. I'm not really sure if this is a correct method, and I think it's working. The colors are light, doesn't seem bright like neon, and it's lasting for quite long. And the paper seems to be holding water well. Why does it look like I'm doing a review for the book instead? Oh, I thought this is some neon pink, but actually it's quite a pretty coral shade. So I guess one downside is the cover doesn't reflect close enough to the actual ink colors, but the green is also on the more neon side. I'm trying the same method as I used for the orange. The first method doesn't seem to work for this guy also. I'm thinking if this is even a correct method. But the dabbing into the water for this shade seems to work really well. The pastel green looks lovely, especially when the brush tip is filled with a lot of water. It will eventually dries up, so the shade will get more saturated. At the back where there are lesser water content, the color will appear more obvious. Now, although they have a printed copy of the colors, but I think I should still fill in the empty boxes with the actual inks to be more accurate. But you know, actually after I filled in the colors in the boxes, I realized that I should do it in the watercolor way. Like because these boxes are printed on watercolor paper, I should totally show the watercolor version of the inks, right? Maybe I'll do it one off the screen and see how it compares. For now, here will be a quick run through of me inking 100 boxes. So here is the field catalogue. Not sure if you guys have the same thought, but I feel that the color flow doesn't look too smooth. Like there's a sudden orange and pink in between that doesn't seem to fit the flow. Like from red to orange, then there's a sudden greyish tone. And the way the markers are arranged in the pack is weird too. Like number 1 starts on the right but is at the inside of the pack and continuous to the front. From bottom and back to the inside, top down. It sounds like I'm playing some zigzag game. The left side flow is much smoother, although it is from bottom up and down again. At least it flows out of the pack. I'm not really comfortable with the way it is arranged, especially the inks, so I'm going to make my own swatches. I always do this for my Marcus babies so that I can immediately take a glance of the available colors and compare them easily. It also helps me to keep track of the colors or types and the brands I already have, so I don't have to buy new ones. Okay, says nobody who is stationery's enthusiast. changed the markers and the shades in the catalog, now this looks much more smoother for me. The numbers are jumbled up, but I think it's fine because the numbers don't really matter if you are looking for a specific color. This is the comparison of the swatches with the guide that they have included, so you can tell the differences between the arrangement of the swatches. And the arrangement in the pack is also from the front on the right, top to bottom, then flip into the inside, bottom, then up, to the left, down again. The zigzag movement is now more articulated, I think. After I filled out my own catalog, I realized that there are a lot of orange shades. If you guys realize, in all my other journal setup, I use a lot of the markers brand called Kakao Green, which you can see from here, there isn't much orange shades, and also the emerald tail shades. Ohuhu has a lot of oranges and tails, which I would really love to have. So I think I will use ohuhu very much often now, maybe after I have practiced my watercolor skills. So I have created the watercolor swatches of the camera. I did it on my old bullet journal papers also, and here's the comparison with the normal inks. The colors are definitely lighter once dipped into water, and the neons are not as bright, but overall you can still tell that they are the neon shades. I don't know, some brushes hold the water well, like this one. I really like the watercolor effect, but most of them not as much since I can't really tell the difference. Maybe I'll need to go through a few layers to achieve the effect more prominent. Overall, I think the markers are good to have, especially the price point is really low. It won't burn a hole in your pocket. If you're looking to practice watercolors painting or even just a normal brush pen set, these guys are good for a start and they can probably do more wonders than you think. If you guys are interested to see in details, I will include the Amazon link to this product in the description box. It's an affiliated link where I'll receive a small commission at no extra cost to you. Thank you so much for watching, and you might want to stay back for a shot behind the scenes. See you in my next video. Now that I have satisfied the buying temptation in me, my next problem is how am I going to fit these guys here? Look at my stationery holder. All the compartments are fully filled. I'm probably left with these two which are hard to access. Maybe I'll remove those here that I use for the yearly tracking. But to be honest, these are not my only collections waiting to be kept together. I still have these guys here. They are the Art X alcohol markers, something like the Copic type, which I actually barely used because the inks are thicker. It bleeds through my journal papers easily. What's worse is I have two boxes of different colors, so I'm not quite sure how I'm going to fit these guys, but we'll see how it goes.